Okay, are we gonna calm down? How many more times do I need to throw this before you calm down? Hi. Okay. Excuse me. Hi there. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to the Hear Her Hands Knitting Podcast. So today we're going to talk a little bit about fall knitting and what sort of things I'm planning on knitting for fall. We'll do some deep stash diving and look into some of the projects that have been on my queue for a long time, pretty much ever since I started knitting. You sit down. You sit. Hi. You sit. Oh, I know. No, no, I'm not petting you while I talk. Can you lay down? Can I have a hand, please? Yeah, can I have a hand? Uh, let's jump into fall plans, right? So first, we're going to talk about a pattern that has been in my queue and on my fall plans for like, I don't know, how long have I been knitting? For like 4 years. Pretty much ever since I discovered Ravelry. Are you gonna chill or not, bud? Hi, here. Come. Hi, come sit. You sit down and behave, okay? Hi. You can't see him, but there's a puppy in my lap. Okay, so the first pattern I'm gonna talk about is the Pressed Flowers cardigan by Amy Christoffers, which is who is Savory Knitting. I basically do not set the camera. Thank you. Sit. Sit. No, you're biting. Sit. Yeah. We'll see if that turns into a game. Will you please? Right. So basically, when I first discovered Ravelry, I think this pattern is, or at least one of the pressed flowers, is almost always on the very top of the Ravelry hot right now. And so I saw it as soon as I discovered Ravelry, and I loved mosaic knitting, and I really loved the flowers, and also loved how it is it's usually done in cycle. No balls for puppy. Hi. No. So this is full tone or Aurora Borealis, which I'm going to use. This puppy is also the puppy who ate you ate my yarn. Yeah, you did. No, you cannot have it. It's not for puppy. So this is going to be my color changing yarn. Doesn't have as an extreme of a color change. I think that will work to my benefit because I actually have diagnosed OCD, and trying to make this color changing thing work with me is beyond my current ability, and it really stressed me out. So I think the fact that this is shorter changes would really help solve that problem. But very pretty, and it's favorite colors, which you will see very shortly. It's like all blues and greens and purple. So this, and then my main color for the body of the sweater is going to be a dark gray. Or I guess I'll have to swatch for that. Is a dark gray alpaca yarn. I will swatch for this. I'm probably gonna do that this weekend and see how that goes, because I don't think that through. I may need a different yarn, but here's one thing. Yeah, so I will be making that in have a generous amount of positive ease. So I'll probably make it in the smallest size because, as I discovered with this cardigan that I will talk about in my next project review podcast, this is the Crail, and I made this in the size 1. And traditionally, I'm sort of between a first and second size. Like, I am definitely a size 1 from like the boobs up. But my boobs have gained a little bit extra in the last couple years, so I am slightly more of a size 2 from the boobs down. But this is size 1, and it fits. Aside from I can't close it across the chest. Well, I can. It just doesn't look right. But I love how this fits. I love the sleeves. I love the. I think it's exact. I don't think I have negative or positive ease. It's pretty much exact on me, but is intended to have positive ease. So I knit the size 1, but I'm not quite a 1. Um, so I will probably be knitting that in size 1, especially since the project pictures look like it has a generous amount of extra ease, and I prefer less ease widthwise and more lengthwise, so I will be knitting it longer. Right, so that's my first fall project. Also, because Maybe Natty and the 11 Stitches membership are doing a color work knit along for the fall. Since that's mosaic, that is a type of color work, and that'll fit right in. And I think that will probably be the first thing I cast on as soon as Pigskin Party starts. So, in addition to that, my next big project that I'm planning on starting this fall is I like to have one complex and one simple. So my simple or ish project is a couple of weeks ago, Knitting for Olive did a big run of all the yarn that we bought on a certain day. They would donate a percentage of that to UNICEF to feed hungry people. That run of yarn sales, they made a good amount of money. I'll put the percentage on screen here. But I bought two sweater quantities and another like single ball to make an accessory. So one sweater quantity is to make a sweater for my niece, and the other one is to make a sweater for myself. So if you are my niece, go to this timestamp unless you want to be spoiled for your Christmas or birthday present. Okay? I highly doubt you'll find my video, but just in case, okay? So I got this Knitting for Olive Heavy Merino in color pomegranate. This is my main color. And then I got the other color is Heavy Merino in the color coal, which is black. So these two are going to be a zipper. It's Letterman. Right, so I am making, I did, here it is. It's called the Zippered Letterman Jacket by Berry Pink Knit. And I'm making it in these two colors. I'm also hoping to figure out how to make a letter patch to put on the front so that it's like an actual sort of Letterman style. Hey, bud. Hi. Come here. Come here. No? Okay. He's like, why are you talking to the camera, Mom? Alright, so these two colors, main and body. I think this is mostly the sleeves. There's some striping that the sleeves as well, and like the neck. And then also, since this is the body, I will use this color for patch once I figure out how to make the patch. But if you have any ideas for me of how to like knit a letter patch and then like sew it on. That'd be awesome. I would love that. I've kind of been looking up different how to knit letter um, patterns on Ravelry, but I haven't found anything that quite fits what I want. So I'd love your ideas. So this is my next big project, and it is a big project because the family is the family. So my family, my husband's family, my partner's family are very tall, and I am 5 foot, and the majority of the rest of the family is over 6 feet. So I am knitting this for someone who is easily a foot taller than me. So that's good. This is my more like simple knit. It's mostly stockinette. It's a raglan-ish style zipper sweater, but I think this will be a really nice like secondary project to have next to the press flowers. So that's two. And then my next, what are you doing? Oh, is it playtime? Maybe I start throwing a ball while I'm doing a video. Would you like me to throw that for you? Yes, yes, yes. No, okay. Excuse the puppy being noisy. Alright, so my next probable plan. The other color. Oh no, it's upstairs. Okay, well, this is my probable plan. So my next plan, slightly more simple for me, because I am nothing if I am not a selfish knitter. So my next plan for me is this. So when Brooklyn Tweed announced they were closing down their holy cow bed. Hi, can I have it? Would you like me to throw it? Okay. We had finished playtime. So, right, so when Brooklyn Tweed announced that they were shutting down their yarn side of the business, um, they kind of, so I never used Brooklyn Tweed, and tell you what, there's nothing makes a person like hunt for yarn more than saying, never had this again. So I went, while I was on my trip to California, I got 3 different, relatively small sweater quantities of Brooklyn Tweed. But this one is tones, and this is their worsted weight. It is Columbia wool. This is wool and spun 3-ply. So this yarn is in the color in overturned deco, so it's the darker green. And I am planning on using this for a Fidalgo cardigan, which I think I might have said before in another video, but I also got a quantity of the confetti worsted from So Happy Jane. That is the same quantity as I have this, so I'm kind of debating. But because the confetti worsted is like a warmer cream, not the greatest color for my skin tone, so I will probably stick with this one. But this is very similar to what I'm wearing, darker. Teal worsted weight, very blue yarn. And the Fidalgo cardigan is by Michelle of Issues Files Knits, and I will be knitting that one in probably the second size. Yeah, I would probably knit it in the second size, just like based on the numbers and things. And I probably knit it a little bit longer, but this would be a really pretty Fidalgo cardigan, don't you think? And my other thing is, I think the buttons I have make really well for this. I have empty buttons. my ability to hold my hand steady is not great, but they're kind of a balloon. So that with this probably it's a dollar cardigan, and then because I am nothing if not ambitious, I am also hoping to knit. Right. So my other big plan that may or may not happen. I mean, it'll happen by the end of the winter, right? So along with that quantity of knitting flowers, I got this one. So this is their also heavy merino. Yes, heavy merino in petroleum blue. And I am planning on using this to knit the Jenny jacket v-neck, like t-neck, because I had originally been planning to knit that in this yarn, and then I knit the Cameo in this yarn, so I didn't have this yarn. And I love the like textured knit of this. I find it very wearable. So I feel like a neck version will be very wearable. That is what this is going to be. And because I had already planned on knitting the Jenny jacket for my birthday last year and ended up sick and like couldn't knit half the things I had planned to. I am hoping that this fall will be better. And so hopefully I will knit the Jenny jacket by my next birthday. We'll see. Alright. And then along with that, I have one more quantity. I mean, I have two more sweater quantities. The third one, I don't really have plans for it yet. So this is Brooklyn Tweed. The single weight loft, which is American Tardy and Columbia wool, and it is also a woolen spun. This is a 2-ply. So this one, can't tell if that's gonna or not. Hopefully you can see that. But this is like a really fun purple with little flecks of purple and blue and like hot pink or red. I'm not sure. So this is going to become the BRK Everyday Cardi by Andrea Mallory. So I'm gonna knit this. That is quite a handful of cardigans, but I think what I'm finding, two things I'm finding. One, I don't wear pullovers hardly at all, unless they're like really oversized and really soft. And so, for the most part, like I have yet to knit a pullover that's like this texture style that I personally like. I'm going to try again. I am planning on knitting the Mountains and Seas pullover by Sarah's Handmakes again in the gray, plain gray. Are you making noise? And a plain gray, superwash merino to see if that changes how I feel about it. But know for absolute certain after knitting it the first time that I cannot wear what is fluffy stuff called? Mohair. Okay, so I can't handle mohair. I don't like how it feels. It's like really itchy me, and I can wear alpaca silk. Um, it does itch a little bit, but it's nothing like mohair. So I do have several quantities of alpaca. So, Haley, what are you doing? Hi. Hi, Bubba. Hi. Where are you? Hi. So it. Alright, ready? Go to it. Go get it. Whoa, dude. Yeah, so this will be the DRK every day, and I've never knit an Indian pattern, so would covet your advice on sizing for this. This is really hard to tell from the pictures what sizing would be best. I do know, like, I will not be purchasing another patina pattern. I do know that patina tends to have her patterns very wide, but her size inclusive big P is like out there. So, I probably will not be knitting another one of her patterns once I finish the Jen jacket. However, as far as Andrew Mary goes, I know I believe she's size inclusive. But from looking at her patterns, I can't quite tell how much, like, did she have a lot of extra ease or not. I think BRK every day doesn't like it has tons of extra ease, so I might go with my regular size for this. So this is going to be it's going to be BRK every day. And then I have two more for sure gift knits that are big gift knits, and then I have like 4 or 5 plans for smaller gift knits. So when we're looking at Pigskin Party, I am planning on knitting up all of my leftover Blue Ridge and Valley from Neighborhood Fiber Co. into shawls. So I have plans to knit the Harumi again, which I knit before and I love and it's beautiful. And then I'm planning to knit the Color Crescent, the Moonstone, and possibly the Virus shawl, I'm not sure. And then on top of that, I have plans to, in the future, knit either the Inclination Moon and Light Shift, and I have a scarf in my queue as well for friends that is in the by 5 colors. That would be like, I think that would be a fun knit. So, yeah, right. So, the two big patterns I have planned for, let's go like this. This has been a nice stash for a while. Knit Pick full of Yandies. I got this, like, gosh, more than a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. So this is in green. So it's grass, it's not green. And I am planning on using this to make a sweater jacket for my partner, and this is in my queue already. I am going to knit him the Hash by Rachel Brockman, and her pattern calls for Universal Yarn Deluxe worsted, and then this is Knit Wolf Andy's worsted, so I believe this will be enough. I bought a ton, like, a metric ton, and also this is going to be my background. Once I finish my niece's cardigan sweater, this is going to be my next background knit, my, like, very simple ish with textured-ish. I think people really like this. This is the same color as his current sweater jacket that he's wearing to death, and I believe it will be well once I get it done. So that one. And the other one, I'm just using a plain white for Yandies. And I'm knitting the Lodge cardigan for another friend. So the Lodge cardigan is, it uses, what are they called? The squares that you use in the, like I was saying, so I'm going to knit the Lodge cardigan, which is mitered squares, that's what they're called, so it's like similar to the mitered square blanket. It's a cardigan made out of mitered squares, and it's like very squared until you sew it together. So I think that'll be a fun little project, and that will be me. I will probably start that one either before or after I start the one for my niece. So yeah, I'm kind of debating. Anyway, if you have, what do I have? Yeah, okay, that is all. Those are all of my wishful, hopeful fall plans. I definitely have a lot of plans. I probably have more plans than I actually have time or ability, but we're gonna give it a good old go. But yeah, so join me, cheer me along while I knit way too many sweaters this fall and winter. And if you have anything in particular that you're knitting this fall, please let me know. Well, I would love to hear what is your current favorite yarn that you're planning on knitting with, or you are currently knitting with, and what is your favorite fall cast on? Be it a cardigan, a sweater, there was lots of texture. It's just a gorgeous thing. I push my sleeve up to my daughter's one. But this fun little thing I will talk about in my next podcast video. As for now, happy fall, y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.